President Trump touting his administration's work to lower costs for Americans. Falling gasoline prices and promising electricity costs will follow. Watch.
Here at home, we're bringing our economy back from the brink of ruin. Electricity costs surged 30 to 100% under Biden, and the typical family lost $5,000 to $10,000 in higher energy costs. Think of that, $5,000 to $10,000 you lost. On day one, I declared a national energy emergency. Gasoline is now under $2.50 a gallon in much of the country. In some states, it, by the way, just hit $1.99 a gallon. Prices on electricity and everything else will fall dramatically.
Now, this comes despite electricity costs rising from over 16 cents per kilowatt hour last year to over 17 cents year to date. There are predictions that electricity prices are going to go higher in much of the country in 2026. Let's bring in Chairman of Americans for Energy Dominance, Sam Romain. Sam, your thoughts on this? Because one of the things that we saw in the November elections was that electricity costs became a major issue for voters. Do you think that those predictions about electricity costs going higher in 2026 are correct? And if so, what can the administration do to make sure that doesn't happen to Americans?
Yeah, well, thanks for having me back again. Last time we spoke was right before the New Jersey election, and we talked about this exact issue, is that kitchen table energy price issues are becoming a major issue when it comes to the voting. And President Trump is right. We are seeing electricity prices skyrocket primarily because the Biden administration decided to shut down generation facilities without having a reasonable replacement, because coal and gas and all these things were apparently bad and solar was the way forward, which, look, solar's great, but we can't turn things off without having new generation sites online too, right? We need to look at how we can flood the grid with all forms of energy, whether that's oil, nuclear, gas, solar, storage. It really shouldn't matter because Americans are paying through the nose for higher electricity prices in the middle of what I'm calling an AI arms race.
Yeah, David DeBella, get into it, because this is about policy, politics, and appointments.
Sure. Sam, let's talk for a second about a little-known factor in energy dominance, and that is the role of public service commissioners. And we had talked earlier about the impact they had on elections. In fact, Republicans lost 2 public service commissioners in Georgia as a result of the high energy costs. Talk about public service commissioners as progressives continue to try to have an impact on those who set the rates and those who set the regulations.
Yeah, I think it's more complex than that, too, is that a lot of people don't realize that the PSCs even exist. They've never heard of them. They don't know how they function. They don't go to the board hearings, certainly not. But these are the boards that actually set prices or the rate case for the utility companies. Now, what happened in the Biden administration is that when you had top-down mandates forcing construction, these utility companies get a guaranteed return on equity, anywhere from 9 to 10, sometimes maybe 11%, but that's pretty high, where the more money they spend, the more money that they are guaranteed to profit on. And these rates are set by the PSC, the Public Service Commission. So when you have a top-down mandate that says, shut down everything else, only build billion-dollar solar farms, buy farmland at ultra-high prices so that farmers can't compete, tear down forestry for solar farms, the utility companies, they're mandated to do this, but at the same time, they're getting a guaranteed return on equity set by that PSC.
No, it's really interesting and a complex story that I think many Americans don't understand. The voters, certainly, I don't think in New Jersey understood that. Let me ask you about this. President Trump going full steam ahead in the AI race against China, signing multiple executive orders this year to promote American technology and innovation, but reducing reliance on China at the same time. Maria spoke with White House AI and crypto czar David Sachs on the program.
We're ahead in the AI race, but China is very competitive. They obviously have a lot of talented people. They have a lot of developers, but I think we're well ahead. But we're not going to stay ahead if our innovators and our startups have to comply with 50 different regulatory regimes. It's extremely onerous, and it's going to slow down innovation, and it's going to hinder our progress in the AI race. So if we want to stay in the lead, as President Trump has declared, we need to have a single national standard, one standard for AI. And I think this is a huge advantage that America has, which is our capital markets are very adaptive. You're seeing a very rapid shift in our economy. That's something that China doesn't actually have. They don't have capital markets that are as developed as ours, and I think this is a big advantage in the AI race.
So Sam, that's the question here. Does China have an energy advantage over the United States when it comes to powering AI data centers?
Yeah, unfortunately, I will say that they probably do have an energy advantage. Now, the United States still has advantages, and I believe is still winning the AI arms race. We have better developers, we have better AI platforms, we have better financial markets. But the thing is that China has taken politics out of energy, and they said, we're going to build everything now at the same time. We need to look at how America can have a two-track strategy. How do we build long-term baseload power? But at the same time, what is the stopgap? How are we going to bridge the gap from today to 2 years down the road? If you look at AI 2027 white paper, the future for this AI arms race is not 5 years away. It's not 10 years away. It is maybe 2 years away at best. And while I love nuclear power, I love SMRs, I think they are genuinely the future, the permitting process takes 20 years. There's nuclear facilities that have been stuck in permitting longer than I have been alive. Now, once you get the permit, you still have to build the thing. So I love nuclear, don't get me wrong, but what are we going to do today that actually bridges this power issue that we have? Because we have had electricity in this country as a blessing to us. We've not had to think about it for almost 100 years. But what does the future look like when you plug in your computer to the wall or your TV or your coffee pot or your fridge and there's no power? We need to solve for the generation problem we have now. And the number one way to do that is to remove politics from energy. And look at what China's doing. They say build everything and build it now.
Well, you do have a deregulatory push under this administration. And I think I heard someone call it the three amigos between Chris Wright and Lee Zeldin and Doug Burgum. So we'll see. It looks like they really do want to tackle this issue because they are very aware of what you're saying, that we need all the power and we need it now. Sam, Romain, thank you so much for being here. Really appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me on again.
All right.